Thank you, sir.
Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. So today is 26th of September 2025. Good morning, Oluwafunke Ogunshakin and building. Now today we have a couple of fundamental events. The first one being the GDP from Canada by 1:30 p.m. and it's going to run simultaneously with the core PCE price index from the United States, same 1:30 p.m. Then by 3 p.m., there'll be revised UOM consumer sentiment from the United States. But the key ones actually is the GDP and the GDP from Canada and the core PCE price index from the United States. I'll switch over to the chart now and we'll look at how to prepare for this news event. Now, technically, the market is very quiet this morning, so we don't have any technical setup for the day as I speak. Though in the course of the day, if there's anyone that shows up, you can watch out for signal in the 5X group or we'll post analysis if any comes up. But for now, we don't have any technical setup for other currencies. But for the Canadian dollar, a couple of Canadian dollar pairs here, I have a setup which I want to show us to prepare us ahead of the news in the afternoon. And I'll be looking at the CAD JPY. Now, this is the CAD JPY you can see on the screen. On the weekly time frame, we can see that price is trending downwards. There's a downtrend, price making a series of a lower high. There's a slight touch here, and price is now around the trend line here on the weekly time frame. And I'll take it down to the daily. You can see clearly price touching the trend line right here. This one is a bit close, but we can ignore that. But price is back to the trend line here. So technically, we're looking for a downtrend on the CAD JPY. And on the 4 hour, it's a lot clearer. You can see at the point of the confluence, there is equally a resistance, and not just a resistance. I can see the formation of what is looking like a double top pattern, which also signifies the possibility of, a reversal, a bearish movement. So generally, we hold a bearish outlook on the CAD JPY. So in the afternoon, if the data from the news, I'll go back to Forex Factory now. If the data from this GDP comes out bad for the Canadian dollar, that is, it comes out as a red, actual less than forecast by 1:30 p.m. If it comes out as actual less than forecast, we may sell the CAD JPY. So we're bearish on the CAD JPY. So by 1:30 p.m., if you check the data and you see that it is less than 0.1%, maybe 0% or minus 0.1, minus 0.2, whatever it is, as long as it's less, and also it's in color red, just like the one above here. If it's in color red, that shows that it is less than, you can trigger a sell on the CAD JPY. So we're bearish on the CAD JPY. And simultaneously, EuroCAD may be going bullish, but then I would just advise you stick with the CAD JPY. But then I'm just trying to give you insight on other instruments that may react to this news. For EuroCAD, on the 4 hour, we can see that price is in an uptrend. Price is in an uptrend, forming a series of higher lows, and our price is back to the higher low. We should be having a further bullish movement. So if the data comes out bad for the Canadian dollar, while CAD JPY will be going bearish, EuroCAD may be going bullish. Because in this case, the CAD is the quote currency, not the base, is the quote currency. So we may see some upward movement in the EuroCAD. But like I said, our focus should be on the CAD JPY. Please don't forget that. I'm just trying to give us, maybe some of us are already on the trade on EuroCAD just for you to know what may likely happen. But if for trading the news, the focus should be the EuroCAD. Now, for those who might probably already on the trade on USD CAD, because the news is coming out from Canada and United States. USD CAD may react to the news, but I will advise you ignore it. You ignore this particular currency pair, because the reason is this: when we have any news from Canada and United States, there's always a contention around USD CAD as a currency pair. Reason is because the outcome of the data will depend on how the USD card will move. If, for example, now the data comes out, both of them comes out good for both the dollar and the card, there will be no serious reaction on USD card. So that's why mostly we don't trade USD card in a scenario like this, because we don't know what the outcome will look like. And even on another angle, this USD card is not even trading around any critical area where we could expect a reversal. So, like I said, the data comes out all good, no reaction. If it comes out all bad, no reaction. The only time you as a car will react to this kind of news is if the news is good for the dollar and bad for the card, or bad for the dollar, good for the card. Those are the only two scenarios where USD card will move. So our advice, ignore the USD card, for this particular news and focus majorly on the card JPY. And we are bearish on the card JPY. All right, that will be all from my end for this morning analysis. If you have a question, you can go ahead and post. Like I said, we don't have any technical setup for now. Gold is in a range. The dollar is still strong. Excuse me. So the dollar is still strong, but then we don't have any setup around the major currency pairs. All right, BTC. Yeah, I gave my analysis on BTC yesterday. I said it on the overall that we may be getting ready for a bearish movement. But then I also said that with the setup I saw yesterday, I think that should be in the morning or in the afternoon. Now we're in between a buy and a sell. I remember mentioning that if price, yeah, the trend line is still there. That if price breaks out above, we will see a buy. Otherwise, if it breaks out below, we'll see a sell. And it actually broke out below. And I also said price may be targeting the next, the support level. Now, price is very close to that level. What I can give as advice is if price drops to the support, we may look for opportunity to buy. So the question you may be asking is that why can't we just enter a sell since price may likely touch that level? To be honest, it's speculative. Today is Friday. Instability happens in the market on Fridays generally. Market can go against the trend. So the only way you can be sure that price will move up is if it comes to touch here. And that is subjective. It may not. So it's better to wait for price to touch this support, then you now look for an opportunity to buy rather than just enter a sell blindly, hoping it's going to touch that support level. So we can go down to 1 hour time frame. In fact, it looks like it's trying to form an inverse head and shoulder already, but then let's just ignore that. So let me remove this support zone. Oh. All right. So if price is still in the bearish zone, you can see RSI, MACD, they are both seriously bearish. So price may just go up a little, come down to touch this support zone. Then when it's breaking out, that is when we can take a buy. So I'm bullish on the BTC USD. But then, like I said, you need to wait for a retracement first to touch the support before we trade the breakout. All right, you're welcome, Mr. Bello. Any other requests for analysis as we begin to round up? If you're on the platform this morning, you don't have an account with PU Prime, you can just reach out to me to guide you through how to get started. Just have a private chat with me, then I'll guide you through how to open an account and verify and start trading with us. All right. In the absence, GBP Okay. Though GBP has been in a range for some time, even on the weekly time frame, but then it's trading around a resistance level on the weekly time frame. Okay, we can work with the resistance on the daily. That red line I drew up there, that's the daily resistance. And price is approaching that resistance level. So if price approaches that resistance level and the level holds, we may see a reversal, downwards. So we can look at a bearish breakout, but that's provided price goes to hit the resistance first and is making its way downwards. So we'll hold a bearish outlook on the GBPJPY. Sorry, I was muted. I was trying to explain something new I saw on this GBJPY, and that is a symmetrical triangle on the 1 hour. And the rule around symmetrical triangle, if price breaks out to the upside, we'll buy. If it breaks out to the downside, we'll sell. If it breaks out to the upside, anywhere above, as in around this upper trend line, you can take a buy. But for the downside, I will suggest a clear break below this support level to take a sell. So it could be either ways. It could be either a buy or a sell because what we're seeing is a symmetrical triangle on GBPJPY. Now, if it's to the upside, the rule actually is you can target this uh, recent high up there. But the truth is that today is Friday. I said there's a big volatility in the market. Price may not go as high as that level today. I can tell you that, except something happens that, pushes the market. That's about 76 pips. Today is Friday. Friday is always, I don't want to use the word a tricky day to trade, but sometimes there can be a lot of market reactions on Fridays that goes against the underlying trend. So usually Friday trading is always to be done with a lot of caution. Volatility may be low, market may range, a lot do happen on Fridays. Okay, I think I'm getting some clarity. I just checked the peep value of a breakout. This is just about 13, 20 pips. We may wait for a clear breakout even above this resistance to take a buy. Yeah, even if you target the resistance, you don't need to wait for price to make up to 76 pips. Maybe just on 20, 30 pips above this level. Or if you are scalping, once a new breakout happens around, maybe somewhere around here, you may target this first level at just about 10, 15 pips. Then if it breaks this level, if it breaks out above this level again, then you can take another trade, or you take two trades. TP1 right here, TP2 above. But that TP2, like I keep saying, you don't need to wait all the way. Once you're able to catch some 25, 30 pips to be out, that's if it's a buy. And if price breaks out below for a sell, you're taking your entry below this support. And well, you may target the low here for about 45, 45, 40, 45 pips. That's still very much achievable. Very much achievable. So just watch out for where the breakout happens. To the upside, we'll buy. To the downside, we'll sell. That's for GBP You're welcome, Maureen. NAS 100. NAS 100, I gave my view on this yesterday. I said if price is able to break out below this level, market will sell. And that happened. And now we can see price is retracing. It's retracing to that support turn resistance level. This is a support. A support. Price broke through the support as a resistance. We may be expecting a downward movement again. We can put a trend line here. This is 15 minutes time frame. In the course of today, if price makes a break below this level, you can trigger a sell on NAS 100. So we're bearish on NAS 100. And finally, Euro AUD. Euro AUD is trying to form a head and shoulder right here for a breakout. This is a 4-hour time frame after price hits a resistance here. This is a neckline region. So I believe we may see price move downward, but it's a swing setup. So until price breaks out below this level, you're not taking any sell. But if price reverses and breaks below that level, yes, we will see a massive bearish movement on Euro AUD. I emphasize again, it is purely a swing setup. All right. So that's going to be all this morning. For those who joined us late, the key analysis today is on the CAD JPY because of the GDP. That's the gross domestic product coming in from Canada this afternoon by 1:30 p.m. And we're bearish on the CAD JPY. So if the news comes out bad for the Canadian dollar, feel free to sell the CAD JPY. Okay, so that'll be the end of the analysis this morning. Do trade safe and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.